Gluttony, gluttoneers, it has been a while since you've heard from us. Unfortunately, Becca, due to life circumstances, is going to be taking a break, hopefully not a permanent one from my gluttony, but unfortunately that is just where we are now. We will miss her. I will miss her. Not sure I'm really ready to talk about food all on my own, but gonna take a crack at it anyway. This episode, and unfortunately this episode and the next episode, are not gonna have any of our typical cooking shenanigans because I was mostly doing experiments. Just wanted to talk about this wonderful book I have, as well as get into a little bit of cookie theory. There's a few other updates I gotta give you if I follow my own script. The other sad thing, that the high of the high gluttony will not be quite so high anymore because my brain has gone into open rebellion against THC. So using a lot more CBD heavy products, spending a lot of time looking for the low THC marijuana and cannabis products. When I was in Las Vegas last November, October, something like that, I was able to find a lot of nice low THC stuff, like 4%, which is really good for someone like me that has a low tolerance. And also mixing that, keeping on with the CBD, because I do think that's doing something. I know I wasn't always sold on it, but definitely seems to be that if I've gone over the top on the THC, the CBD really helps balance that out. Hopefully, with the not being so high, I will be able to keep myself on track a little bit better. Not so many side quests. We'll do our best. And then the other programming note is probably only going to be 2 episodes a month. And probably forever, because doing 3 a month was a fucking lot. I'm interested in having, now that the need to quarantine is a lot lower, I have interest in living my life outside of my house. Having more time to do that is probably a good thing. Let's get into what I want to talk about today and what that's led me to and what wonderful recipe I'll be adding to the Gretchen Writes Recipes section of the website, which is new. We're also going to try and bring in, I am going to try and bring in a little more video content. So if you want to see all of our videos, which all of our podcasts, except one that I have to fix because YouTube kept flagging it as medical misinformation because I was complaining about somebody else providing medical misinformation, and now I have to fix it so that I don't talk about that, so I can put that episode up. But almost all of our episodes are on YouTube as videos. You can find us over there, and there will hopefully be additional videos in the near future. Today, my inspiration for the recipe I will be posting on the website, I will post this recipe as well. It comes from the book, The Flavor Equation, and I don't remember where I originally heard about this book, but as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I need this book, because it takes a kind of science-y approach to recipes and how to enhance flavors, complement other flavors, and I just fell in love with the concept because, you know me, I love science. I thought I'd start with cookies just because I wanted to. This was something I made to take when I went to visit my friends Paul and Kristen last week. So these are called Bolinhas. I keep wanting to really pronounce the H in it. It is Bolinhas. This is from Goa. I forgot to look that one up before I started. These cookies are apparently very essential during Christmas time, but pretty much are all year enjoyed. They're a really fascinating cookie, actually, in my opinion. And do you want to know what makes a cookie fascinating? Of course you do. That's why you're here. Also, probably I'll be talking back and forth with myself because this is what I do when I'm alone. Let's talk about these cookies. Number 1, they're made with semolina. So we've talked about semolina before on this podcast when we did the semolina pudding from Frauds, the cookbook. I've seen a couple different recipes. This one in particular that I used out of the book, you make a simple syrup. This is universal. I've seen all the recipes I saw used a sugar syrup. You're not just beating it together. There's also a very small amount of additional fat. And the fat in this is actually suggested to be ghee, clarified butter, or just regular butter. And it also has an absurd amount of shredded coconut in it. And you want unsweetened coconut. So you take half of your coconut and grind it up fine. I had a little trouble with that. I think the next time I make these cookies, I'm going to try putting the coconut into the oven for a little bit just to dry it out some. It didn't grind up that well, although some of the recipes I did see had you making more of a paste with it. It didn't say grind. It wasn't so much implying that you ground it like a flour. It was more like a paste. I might have to try some other recipes at some point. So you grind up that coconut and then you mix that as well as the flake coconut into the semolina. Make a simple syrup. You add your butter to the simple syrup, and it's just like 2 tablespoons for the batch of cookies, a tiny amount. Then pour that sugar syrup into the semolina and coconut mixture. Let that cool. Then you fold in eggs until just combined. And then you have to let that sit for 4 hours or up to 8 was the suggestion to let things come together. Then you roll them into balls, flatten them into little discs, and you make little crosshatch patterns on the top. I found they were really delicious. They went down really fast. I took them to Paul and Kristen, who ate almost all of them at once. And then I took them to work, and they disappeared pretty handily there as well, although I think I might have eaten the majority of them. This then led me to think about a cookie my grandmother used to make all the time that I didn't necessarily enjoy because I just wasn't into jam on cookies, but Thumbprint cookies. If you've ever heard of those, they're a cookie where you smash a hole in them with your thumb and then put jam in the center. I wanted to use this like coconut idea because my mom's also been enjoying these various tarts and things that I've been making, like with lemon or passion fruit and lime. I've been doing a lot of tarts this winter. It's been a very tarty winter. So I thought if I make a coconut cookie and put some nice tropical jam in there, ooh, that would be good. And I was right. So I actually found Ina Garden's Thumbprint cookie. She had what she called a coconut cookie. Hang on, I'm getting ahead of myself because I wanted to finish talking about the Bolinhas. The author of The Flavor Approach, Nick Sharma, has on every recipe these flavor approach notes. So I'm going to read this little section to you because another component of this cookie, and this was universal across the board, you put cardamom in them, which is a flavor I particularly enjoy, although I feel a little weird about it because I have somebody that I know that thinks white people shouldn't mess around with cardamom. Can't say that I blame them because there are a lot of people that mistreat it, but hopefully I am not one of those people that's doing it dirty. But I also needed to amp up the amount of cardamom that I put in these, I think. I would like a little more cardamom flavor in there. Here's what Nick says. The aromatic molecules in the ground green cardamom and coconut help amplify the perception of the cookie sweetness. You could apply this trick to other sweets too when you want to accentuate sweetness without increasing the amount of sweetener. Use aromatic ingredients and spices such as cinnamon, nutmeg, orange blossom water, or rose water that we commonly associate with sweets. The classic Bolina uses fresh ground... Oh, okay. Here's the part I've read this part before, but I didn't fully process it, obviously. It says, the classic Bolina uses fresh coconut ground to a paste, which yields a smooth texture. I prefer the texture of shredded coconut, so I use a combination of ground and shredded. You could toast the desiccated coconut before it meets the semolina. See instructions for coconut milk cake, page 306. But remember to cool it before you add it. So taking these principles that came from this recipe, and then I applied it to Ina Garden's recipe. Because her coconut thumbprint cookie just had a coating of coconut on the outside. I was like, that is not enough coconut in there for me. I did add about a cup of desiccated coconut into the dough, as well as cardamom and a bit of vanilla. And then I did add just a hint of coconut extract, which I mean about half a capful because I don't measure that shit. But I try not to put too much because with extract you can go way too hard. Just using those principles, but without the semolina and without having to do the grinding of the flour. I think I might try doing, because Ina Garten's recipe used 3/4 of a pound of butter, I believe. I'd be interested to try using a bit of coconut oil and maybe grinding that with some desiccated coconut and kind of make like a coconut cream almost. And then adding that to bump up the coconut flavor. But just adding the desiccated coconut and the coconut extract to really boost that coconut flavor for me. I made a passion fruit curd because I love making passion fruit curd. I love passion fruit. And I also used a guava butter that I got from a coworker. When they went to visit Hawaii, they brought back some nice guava butter. I use that as well. I have a nice combo of flavors there. And kind of obsessed with these cookies right now because they're like mini tarts. And I would like to see if I could go even harder on putting even more filling into them. Because what I found after they came out of the oven was that between trying to keep the cookie sort of intact so that the filling didn't go everywhere, because I did have a few that the filling spilled over the side and then it burned on the pan, blah, blah, blah. I didn't have as much of that jam or guava butter or passion fruit curd as I would have liked. So something for next time to see if I can maybe get with a little bit more of that jam filling containment. Because I don't know if it was just the dough in general, because most cookie doughs are not really well, it depends. It really depends on the cookie if it's super moldable. I loved adding that cardamom, bringing like all of those tropical flavors together in sort of a semi-traditional white person cookie. And I don't know the original origins of Thumbprint cookies, so don't come at me. I didn't look into that. That's not what I'm here for right now anyway. I went in for these Bolinhas because it was like, they said, coconut fans, this cookie is for you. Yes, 100% coconut fan. Love coconut. Let's talk a little bit about the cookie process and why I might actually go in and use like a Bolina the next time as like the Thumbprint cookie base. One, because it was a little bit more sturdy. Might also try grinding up all of the coconut and seeing how I like that, just to make it a little bit smoother. Nick clearly likes texture. He's got a lot of texture in his recipes in this book. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going through this book with y'all a little bit more. The Bolinas actually use eggs. The Thumbprint cookies are just fat, butter, obviously, sugar, flour, flavorings. Very basic. And come together much more quickly because you just cream together the butter and sugar, add the flour, and it wants sifted flour, and a little bit of salt. Very basic. I'm not sure which is easier though. I mean, you have to have a little more patience for the Bolinas, just because after you put that boiling sugar syrup in and you stir everything together, you do have to let it sit before you add the eggs, because otherwise you'll cook your eggs before they go in the oven, and you don't want to do that. I was really impressed and really, really like this recipe, and we'll have to make it again because I just really like it. So I don't know, this might be the fastest episode of High Gluttony of all time because there's no actual cooking in it. And all I did was discuss cookies. Hopefully at some point we'll keep the original format going. Hopefully Becca will come back and guest host every once in a while, even though she's on her break. I hope you all are enjoying your lives, enjoying your own gluttony. I hope you enjoyed this mini episode about cookies. Our next episode, going for a full left turn here, and will be a delicious couscous with roasted carrots and sesame. So really interesting. I'm on a big sesame kick right now. Very excited about it. I guess that's it. Off we go. I don't have my coconuts. Really off my game. It's been 3 months since I recorded anything. So hopefully I can get back into the swing of things here very soon. But thank you for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you in the future. Off we go.